Hi, everybody. My name is Simone. I'm a PhD archaeologist and historian from Rome. Today, I want to tell you the story of the Emperor Commodus. Commodus has been one of the craziest emperors of the Roman Empire, and trust me, we had many crazy emperors. He became very famous because he killed hundreds of senators and wealthy people just to steal their properties. But most important of all, he became famous because he has been probably the only emperor that wanted to fight on the arena of the Colosseum. He dreamt of being a real gladiator. Today, everybody knows Commodus because of a movie, the movie Gladiator, where Phoenix did a great job. People ask me, is the movie well accurate or is it just a fiction? Follow us and you will find it out. Okay, so I think that the best way to introduce Commodus is to compare the real Commodus with Joaquin Phoenix. That was the actor that basically performed Commodus in the movie Gladiator. That's what made Commodus so famous. Probably you never heard about Commodus before the movie came out. The movie came out 21 years ago, in the year 2000. And in my opinion, Joaquin Phoenix did a great job. It was a perfect Commodus. All the madness of the emperor came out. Obviously, I'm not able to tell you this is true, this is not true. I have on the one hand the historical, the historians, the ancient Roman historians that gave us a description of the emperor, on the one hand the movie, but I can tell you something. We're going to analyze these aspects in the life of Commodus. First of all, the parricide. Is it true that Commodus killed his father? In the movie, Commodus suffocated Marcus Aurelius, an old Marcus Aurelius. Commodus celebrated his father like a god. He loved his father. He considered his father like the supreme military genius, and he built a monument for his father that you can still today see today in Rome. It's amazing. The column of Marcus Aurelius, showing you in detail all the events of the German war. Obviously, I say in detail, it doesn't mean that it's very realistic, because most of the times the Romans are not fighting, they are not killing, and the emperor is shown on a horse that gives his mercy to the enemies. It seems like we were not fighting the Germans, we were asking them for a favor, okay? Now, obviously, it was a violent fight, but I remember that the column, as you see today, is white in color because the color disappeared, but originally it was multicolor. So when you come to Rome, obviously, sorry, this is also a tour to promote my city, to promote Rome. When you come to Rome, remember to go to the column of Marcus Aurelius and remember that it's one of the most beautiful monuments I ever seen in my life. It was made by Commodus for his father, to celebrate his father as a general and as a god, because remember that the Roman emperor became a god after he died, and is still there in perfect condition. And now we fly to the 5th mile of the Appian Way in order to get the Quintilli Villa. This is where Commodus was living the last night of his life. You see the points of reference. There was an hippodrome, there was a stadium here for the chariot races, there was an arena for the gladiatorial fights, there was a central section in the villa, it's here, and then there was a garden here, you see it here. We had the Praetorian camp to protect the emperor, and finally there was a wonderful water fountain. So now, very briefly, we go back to the slides, and I'm going to show you where Commodus' life was happening and probably what the emperor do in the last day of his life. He was living in this magnificent villa. He killed the two brothers that owned the villa. There were two generals and politicians that were working for his father, Marcus Aurelius. So it's those two brothers that were named Quintilli. Okay, let me show you a picture of the Quintilli. These are the Quintilli's brothers, Condianus and Maximo. They were two very wealthy persons. They built this magnificent villa. And unfortunately, they had a great reputation, and they had a lot of money. Commodus killed them, and he took all their properties, okay? So if you look at the beauty of the villa, it's astonishing. This is a picture I took a few months ago. The villa is in a higher position, so the panoramic view, this is Google Earth, it's not the picture. You can see the mountains. The mountain at the very end of this view is a volcano. So the villa is on a volcanic lava block. That's why it's higher than the rest of the landscape, and it's magnificent. The location is wonderful and great. Commodus has been killed by a gladiator, but not on the arena of the Colosseum. I want you to imagine that night in the winter dining room. Why in the winter? Because we are in December. In the winter dining room, Commodus started eating these 12 dishes that made him vomiting so much. Marcia put poison in the food before Commodus came, but that was completely unsuccessful. And then Commodus was convinced by Eclectus to take a bath in the hot water here. Narcissus came and he strangled Commodus, or he broke his neck, according to the different interpretation. This is the way Commodus died in the villa, in the Quintilli's villa. So what is amazing to me is that today I was able to give you the story of a man and the location where that story was happening. It's quite proven that most of these events happen in the villa of Commodus, in the villa of the Quintilli.